stop. Evening, sir.
Yo.
Reason for the stop is your speed. 70 and a 45. I just need your license and registration.
Are you kidding me? Do you even know who you're talking
Yes,
to?
sir. I need your license, please.
Sir!
Keep your voice down
You
and
don't
stay
tell
where
me
you
what
are.
to do!
Now back off and...
Do you know who I am? The words was sharp. A white luxury sedan sat crooked by the guardrail, engine still running. The driver's door flew open before anyone said it was okay. The man stepping out wore a sharp gray suit and an angry face. His hair was silver. His eyes were cold. His voice was loud on purpose. You have no right to stop me, he snapped. I was barely speeding. Go find real criminals. Or is this what you people do now? The black police officer stood still behind his door. Come. Straight backed. Hands relaxed. Sir, the officer said evenly, please step back into your car. The man laughed, short and cruel. Oh, I see what this is, he said, waving a finger. You saw a nice car and thought, let me feel powerful tonight. Typical. The officer's jaw tightened. Not from fear. From control. My name is Officer Caleb Morris, he said. You were going 20 miles over the limit. The man scoffed. I don't care what your name is. You should care about mine. He leaned closer, pointing his finger inches from Caleb's badge. I'm Judge Harold Whitcomb. 30 years on the bench. I decide who goes free and who doesn't. And right now you're wasting my time. Cars rolled by slowly now. A truck honked. Someone shouted, Yo, just give him the ticket. Judge Whitcomb sneered. You hear that? Even they know this is a joke. Caleb said nothing. He took a breath. Long, slow. That silence made the judge angrier. What, you can't talk? Whitcomb barked. Or are you scared you'll mess up? I know your type. Quiet until you snap. The camera on Caleb's chest blinked red. Recording. The judge noticed it. Oh, you're filming me now? He snapped. Trying to make a name for yourself? Let me tell you something, son. Men like you don't last long when they forget their place. The words hit hard. Sure. Ugly. Caleb's hand trembled for half a second. Then it stilled. That's when the night truly changed. Before we go any further, hit that subscribe button right now. And drop a comment telling us where you're watching from. Now, back to that highway. Caleb Morris did not look like a hero. He wore a standard-issue uniform. Slightly faded. His boots were clean but old. His patrol car had dents from years of service. Nothing flashy. Nothing loud. He looked like someone you could ignore. That's what Judge Whitcomb thought. Caleb was tall but lean. His face was calm, almost tired. Dark skin. Deep-set eyes that had seen too much. A small scar near his left eyebrow, easy to miss unless you looked close. He didn't argue. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't puff his chest. He had learned a long time ago that silence could be stronger than shouting. Caleb grew up in East Briarwood, a part of town people drove through fast with their windows up. His mother worked nights at a nursing home. His father left early. Real early. Caleb learned to be quiet because loud black boys didn't survive long where he came from. He joined the military at 18. Not because he loved war, but because he wanted order. Purpose. A way out. 2 tours overseas. Bronze Star. Purple Heart. He never talked about it. When he came home, he chose law enforcement. Not for power, but because he believed in rules, in fairness, in standing between chaos and peace. That belief had been tested every single day since, including tonight. Judge Whitcomb paced beside his car now, talking fast, loud, and nasty. I should have you written up for harassment, he said. This is profiling. Reverse profiling, but still. You think because you wear that badge you can bully people better than you? Caleb kept his hands visible. Come. Sir, please step back into your vehicle, he repeated. Whitcomb laughed again. Or what? You'll arrest me? You'll put handcuffs on a judge? He leaned in close. Do you even understand how stupid that would be? A woman filming from her SUV whispered, This is bad. A young man across the road shook his head. That cop's done for. Nobody stepped in. They never do. Whitcomb's face turned red. You know what? He said. I bet you don't even belong on this highway. Probably got this job from some diversity program. Caleb's eyes flicked up. Just once. The judge smirked. Oh, I hit a nerve. Caleb's voice stayed level. Sir, I'm asking you one last time. Or what? Whitcomb snapped. You gonna shoot me? That your plan? The air went cold. Caleb slowly reached up and tapped the camera on his chest. This is your warning, he said. Whitcomb froze. Just for a second. Then he sneered. Good, he said. Make sure it's recording. I want people to see what happens when someone forgets their place. That was the moment. Not when the judge yelled. Not when he insulted. But when he smiled. Because Caleb realized something then. This man had done this before. And gotten away with it. Whitcomb turned toward the road and raised his hands mockingly. "Hey," he shouted to passing cars. "Look, I'm being oppressed." A few people laughed nervously. Others looked away. Caleb stepped forward. "Sir," he said, "you are being detained for reckless driving and failure to comply." Whitcomb spun around. "You wouldn't dare." Caleb reached for his cuffs. The judge exploded. "This is unbelievable," he shouted. "I'll have your badge. Your pension. You think anyone will believe you over me?" Caleb locked the cuffs smoothly around the judge's wrists. Click. That sound echoed louder than the traffic. Whitcomb went pale. "What are you doing?" he hissed. "You've just ruined your life." Caleb leaned in, voice low. "No, sir," he said. "You did." The judge was placed by the patrol car. Cameras were everywhere now. Phones shaking. People whispering. A police supervisor arrived. Then another unit. Then a black unmarked SUV pulled up quietly behind them. A man stepped out. He wore a simple jacket. No badge showing. No sirens. But when he spoke, every officer stood straighter. "Officer Morris," the man said calmly, "thank you for holding the scene." Judge Whitcomb frowned. "Who is this?" The man looked at the judge like he was already a memory. "My name is Deputy Director Leon Graves," he said. "Department of Internal Affairs." The judge swallowed. Graves turned to Caleb. "We've been waiting for this," he said softly. Caleb nodded once. The night held its breath. Because the power was shifting. And Judge Harold Whitcomb could feel it slipping through his fingers. Judge Harold Whitcomb sat on the edge of the patrol car, his hands cuffed, his breath short. The night air felt heavier now. Different. Like it knew something he didn't. "What is this?" he snapped, trying to sound calm but failing. "Internal Affairs doesn't get involved in traffic stops." Deputy Director Leon Graves didn't raise his voice. "Not usually," he said. "But tonight isn't usual." Graves was a tall black man with a shaved head and eyes that didn't blink much. His jacket was plain. No shine. No drama. But every officer nearby knew his name. When Graves showed up, careers changed. Whitcomb looked around. Phones were still recording. A few people had stepped out of their cars now. A circle was forming. "This is insane," Whitcomb muttered. "I want my lawyer." "You'll get one," Graves said. "Later." He turned to Caleb. "Officer Morris," Graves said, "how long have you been with the department?" 11 years, Caleb replied. "And before that?" Caleb paused. Just a breath. "United States Army," he said. "Infantry." Whitcomb rolled his eyes. "So what?" "Half the force has a service record." Graves looked at him. "2 tours," Graves continued. "Bronze Star. Purple Heart. And 6 letters of commendation for restraint under fire." Whitcomb's mouth opened, then closed. Graves stepped closer to him now. "Judge Whitcomb," he said, "do you remember a case from 12 years ago? A young black veteran named Marcus Bell?" Whitcomb frowned. "I see hundreds of cases." Graves nodded. "You sentenced him to 10 years for resisting arrest. No body cam. 1 officer's word." Whitcomb shrugged. "If he didn't want prison, he should have complied." The crowd murmured. Caleb's jaw tightened. Graves continued. "Marcus Bell killed himself in his cell 3 months later." Silence fell like a blanket. Whitcomb shifted. "That's tragic. But not my fault." Graves held up a tablet. Then there was Tanya Reed. Single mother. Traffic stop. You threw out her complaint and fined her for wasting court time. Another swipe. James Holloway. Rico Evans. Lena Brooks. Name after name. All black. All dismissed. All humiliated. Graves looked up. "And every one of them mentioned you by name." Whitcomb's face went pale. "This is ridiculous," he said weakly. "You're twisting things." Graves tapped the tablet again. "Tonight," he said, "you were recorded calling a black officer your type and telling him to know his place." Whitcomb opened his mouth. Graves raised a hand. "And before you speak, you should know this," he added. He turned slightly. "Officer Morris is not just a patrol officer." Whitcomb laughed, shaky. "What does that mean?" Graves faced Caleb. "Would you like to tell him?" he asked. Caleb took a step forward. The red and blue lights painted his face in sharp colors. He looked tired. "Come. Steady. I didn't want this job to be about me," Caleb said simply. I wanted it to be about the law. Whitcomb sneered. Then why all this drama? Caleb met his eyes. Because for the last 3 years, Caleb said, I've been working with internal affairs as a confidential investigator. The crowd gasped. Whitcomb's smile vanished. I was assigned to gather evidence on judicial misconduct, Caleb continued. Bias. Abuse of power. Racist rulings hidden behind polite words. He looked at the judge. You were my primary case. Whitcomb's lips trembled. That's impossible, he whispered. Graves stepped in. It's very possible, he said. And tonight you handed us the last piece we needed. Whitcomb started shaking his head. No, he said. No, no, no. Graves raised the tablet again. On the screen was a video. Tonight's video. The insults. The threats. The smile. This video, Graves said, will be submitted as evidence tomorrow morning. Whitcomb's voice cracked. You can't do this. I've given my life to the law. Caleb spoke softly. You took lives from it, he said. That hit harder than shouting ever could. The judge sagged. But I'm a judge, Whitcomb whispered. People like me don't fall like this. Graves nodded once. They do when people like you forget they're not untouchable. 2 uniformed officers stepped forward. Judge Harold Whitcomb, one said, You are under arrest for abuse of authority, obstruction and civil rights violations. The cuffs tightened. Click. The same sound. But this time it meant something else. Whitcomb's shoulders collapsed. Cameras caught everything. By morning the video was everywhere. News headlines screamed. Judge's racist rant ends 30-year career. Traffic stop exposes years of bias. Hero officer stayed silent, until it mattered. The governor called for an investigation. Lawyers lined up. Cases Whitcomb once ruled on were reopened. Families cried. Some from pain. Some from relief. Caleb watched it all from his small kitchen table, holding a cup of cold coffee. He didn't smile. He didn't celebrate. Because justice, real justice, isn't loud. A week later, Caleb stood in front of a community hall. No uniform this time. Just a simple jacket. People filled the room. Young. Black. White. Faces tight with emotion. Marcus Bell's mother stood in the front row. Caleb walked over to her. I'm sorry it took so long, he said. She held his hands. You didn't forget him, she said. That's what matters. Caleb nodded. Later that night he drove the same highway. No lights. No sirens. Just road. Just quiet. The system wasn't fixed. But it cracked. And sometimes that's how change starts. Not with shouting. Not with fists. But with one calm voice refusing to bow. As Caleb pulled over another speeding car, he whispered words his father once told him. Stand straight. Let truth do the work. Power doesn't fear anger. It fears truth. If this story hit you, subscribe to the channel right now so you don't miss stories like this. And here's a real question for you. What do you think hurts injustice more? Loud rage or quiet truth? Drop your answer in the comments. Let's talk.